You say, I want love, I want abundance. But what if I told you that you're the one blocking it? So you don't need another manifestation trick. You don't even need to think about, oh, I gotta raise my vibration. Maybe you do, but that'll happen naturally. You don't need to focus on all positive thoughts only. What you need to do is get real about the ways that you're shutting yourself off from the very thing you desire. In today's video, I'm breaking down the 4 biggest blocks keeping love and abundance out of your life, and I promise some of these are going to make you feel uncomfortable, but that's how we grow, right? What I want you to learn on this video are the secret mindset shifts that will instantly open you up to more love and abundance. We're going to explore why judgment and criticism are keeping you stuck in scarcity, how blaming others secretly sabotages your own success, and the surprising reason why complaining is keeping you broke and lonely. Most people think their biggest barriers to love and abundance are external. The truth is that your biggest blocks aren't the circumstances in your life, they're your own habits and ways of thinking and acting. So here's the truth: judgment, blaming, complaining, and criticism don't just make you less fun to be around. They're repelling the very thing you say you desire. Judgment keeps you disconnected from love. Blaming others keeps you stuck in victimhood. Complaining keeps you aligned with scarcity. And criticism, like, creates resistance to joy, success, and connection. These are not personality traits, they are learned behavioral patterns that you can 100% develop. They are energetic walls, and you want to work with them so that you can transform them into doorways, open doorways. Until you dismantle these walls or blocks, you will continue to experience the same thing, same patterns repeatedly, right? Different times, different people, but same patterns. And it's time to be free from that. And this is important for you, because if you don't deal with these blocks, your life will stay exactly as it is, no matter how many vision boards you make, no matter how many affirmations you repeat. You will unconsciously reject the very thing you say you want. So think about it. If you're judging others, you're constantly judging yourself, which makes receiving love feel unsafe. If you're blaming people or circumstances, you're giving away your power. You're keeping yourself small and struggling. If you're complaining about what's wrong, you're reinforcing the belief that you're powerless to change it. The way you think, speak, and act is shaping your reality. If you want a life that feels abundant and full of love, then you have to become the kind of person who can actually hold it. In a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that, because I want you to have the life that lights you up. So let me introduce you to a story about me working with Julia. And Julia is like wildly driven and very energetic, human, successful. And she pushes she pushes herself. But secretly, she was stuck in a cycle of frustration and burnout. She was showing up in her relationships with the unconscious belief that people were just not on her level. And what we realized is that she was judging herself even more harshly. She was not good enough. Or maybe she was being too much because she felt alone a lot. She blamed circumstances in her life for things not working. She constantly criticized herself even after wins, which was so painful to watch. She thought she just needed to work harder, and she did that, and it didn't work. But you know what actually changed her experience, how she was seeing the world, and her expression of life? It was actually becoming aware of how these patterns that she was seeing through were actually keeping her from everything she wanted. The moment she stopped judging as a practice and started appreciating and intentionally celebrating, even in the beginning it felt, as she would say it felt fake. Her relationship softened. She softened physically. She looked softer. And the moment she took radical responsibility, her career opportunities took her down like new avenues and fulfilling opportunities that she didn't even see coming. And her relationship with her partner of many years opened to new levels of intimacy, which she was longing for a long time. And the moment she gave up complaining, her energy shifted and abundance naturally started to be witnessed more. There was so much abundance she couldn't even see it because she was in such celebration. There was more time in her life. This isn't some woo-woo thing. This is real, and this is available to you too. It's available to me when we get ourselves in the right energy. I can see this play out in my personal life as well. You know, when I regress into these patterns, into old behaviors, what happens is that, you know, I have a hard time in connecting in my relationships in a meaningful way. I feel disconnected from my work in a meaningful way whenever I go down the path of the lower frequency. I want you to think about the amount of tension that happens in the body when it goes into judgment, blaming, complaining, or criticism. That it keeps it closed and contracted. Right? Abundant, loving energy loves to move through welcoming, open channels. If your body, and I want you to think about your body as a vessel, as a channel, if it's closed, you are not allowing energy to come in. You're doing the opposite. You're repelling energy, not magnetizing it. So I want to share with you a 3-step process to break free from love repelling blocks. Now that we know what's blocking you, how do we actually do it? So here's your action plan. And the first step is awareness, right? Acknowledgement. You can't change what you don't recognize. So start noticing where complaining, criticism shows up in your daily life and feel what it does to your body. Just allow yourself for 10 seconds to pause and feel how bad it makes your body feel and how much tension, which actually causes inflammation and makes you sick, how that's present whenever there's any of these energies, judgment, criticism, etc. So I want you to name it, right? When you feel it and allow yourself to feel it in the body, name it. You want to name it because the moment that you give it a name, you disidentify, you create some distance from yourself and the pattern, and you start to see it as something that is not who you are. And the second step is that you flip, right? Like the flip method. Replace the habit of judgment with curiosity. You shift, right? Like, oh, it's judgment. Okay, curiosity. Instead of judging someone, ask, what might I be projecting, right? When blame comes up, you say, oh God, I see blame, right? You feel it in your body and you're like, boom, immediately take ownership. How am I contributing to this situation? When you hear complaining, you just, wow, make a shift immediately. Gratitude. Gratitude is the sage shift here, right? So what's the one thing right now that I can appreciate about this person, the situation, the lesson that I'm learning? Gratitude. Okay? And then with criticism, you flip to recognition. What can I acknowledge in myself or others right now? People grow when you are witnessing their strength. People shrink and shut down when you are judging, criticizing, blaming, right? So remember that recognition of people's gifts is the best thing you can do so that they can flourish around you, so that they feel safe to flourish around you. And the third step is daily integration. Like really create the practice of catching yourself in real time. And when you do, call yourself out or perhaps call the pattern out, right? Like name it. And when you notice an old habit creeping in, pause, breathe, feel, shift. And when you shift, remember, this is super important because that's how we create the good chemicals in our brain that makes us consistently create new habit, right? It's to celebrate. This is it seems like a small step, but this is the biggest step. Allow yourself to celebrate. And a way to celebrate is to, shaking your body a little bit like, oh, I heard judgment and I was able to shift it. That's criticism in my mind. That's not me. It's important to celebrate because you create new neural pathways and you want those good chemicals that essentially invite you to do more of it. Awareness and choice. My invitation is to avoid going down the path, which I've been very familiar with, of criticizing the fact that I'm criticizing or judging the fact that I'm judging, right? Practice just shaking it off and switch to curiosity, to gratitude, to ownership or recognition. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one block you're recognizing yourself and commit to shifting it this week. And I want you to drop it in the comments. I want to hear what it is that you're working on. What are you focusing on? If this video was helpful, subscribe to this channel for more awesome videos on relationships, purpose, personal development, leadership, and more. And if you haven't already, download my Purposeful Living Journal Prompts worksheet, and I will leave the link below. Thank you so much. I'm sending you my love. Mwah.